In Texas, everything is larger. The talent is greater, the pride is greater, and the voices in music frequently have an audacity that is hard to ignore. Contestants from all across the United States take the stage of NBC's The Voice season after season in the hopes of grabbing attention with just one note. However, Texas singers consistently appear to stand out from the crowd. This season, a group of performers from Texas dominated the competition and won the title, carrying on the tradition in a spectacular way. One of the season's most talked about plotlines was their journey from local gigs and small-town stages to national exposure on one of the largest music platforms on television. It was evident by the time of the finale that The Voice had once again been influenced by the Lone Star State. A tradition of Texas talent, musical legends have long been produced in Texas. From pop and soul to country and blues, the state's diverse population has produced a thriving scene for musicians who don't hesitate to experiment and push the envelope. This diversity frequently results in performances on The Voice that are genuine and emotionally resonant. Over the years, both coaches and producers have observed the trend. Texas contenders typically bring a wealth of live performance experience, which has been influenced by local festivals, church tours, honky-tonk stages, and family get-togethers where music plays a significant role in everyday life. They have presence and confidence that can be challenging to teach because of their history. The Texas vocalists of this season proudly continued that tradition. They all contributed different tales and styles, but they all had one thing in common: a strong bond with their heritage and a resolve to proudly represent their home state. The blind auditions that made all the difference. The Texas singers immediately created an impression during the blind auditions, which marked the beginning of the voyage. Coaches were clearly energized from the first notes of their performances. The competition to get these artists for each squad became fierce as the chairs rotated quickly. One particularly memorable moment was when a young Houston singer sang a heartfelt cover of a traditional tune. A near-instant four-chair turn resulted from the performance's combination of technical skill and unadulterated emotion, with a country rock performance that was both nostalgic and new. A candidate from a small Texas town outside of Dallas astounded the audience. A number of Texas musicians had earned spots on various teams by the conclusion of the audition rounds. Social media was ablaze with remarks about the Lone Star State's robust representation as viewers started to notice the trend. Something remarkable was obviously taking place. Mentoring and development. The actual work started when the teams were established. Each contestant's artistic identity was shaped over time and effort by the coaches. This stage turned into a chance for the Texas singers to strengthen their already strong foundations. Their mentors urged them to take artistic chances, try out different voice styles, and investigate new genres. While some embraced pop arrangements, others were more heavily influenced by R&B or country music. They stood out during combat rounds and knockouts because of their adaptability. There's a certain grit that comes from Texas performers, one coach said during a practice. Every performance demonstrates their unafraid emotional exploration. Their path was characterized by that fortitude. Rounds of combat and increasing tension, the stakes increased as the competition moved into the battle rounds. Texas competitors frequently faced colleagues with comparable skill levels, which resulted in performances that resembled mini-finals. High notes were hit with accuracy, harmony rose, and stage presence grew. Numerous fights amongst Texas singers swiftly gained widespread attention on the internet. Supporters commended their professionalism and heartfelt performance, pointing out how they helped each other out despite vying for the same slot. Coaches occasionally had trouble selecting a winner, which led to steals that kept several Texas musicians in the competition. Their adaptability was further demonstrated in the knockout rounds. Pop ballads were tried by contestants who previously competed as country singers. Powerhouse vocalists experimented with more subdued, personal performances. The idea that this group has the potential to win was strengthened by the discovery of fresh talent layers in each round. Live performances and support from fans voting by the audience became crucial after the live performances started. Contestants from Texas enjoyed tremendous support from fans throughout the country who identified with their genuineness in addition to their home state. Their awareness was increased by hometown celebrations, local watch parties, and social media promotions. During this stage, performances were more emotionally charged. The singers put their all into each song since they knew that every note may decide their future. In one particularly noteworthy performance, a contestant from Texas performed an original song that drew inspiration from their childhood. The song received a standing ovation and a lot of online acclaim since it struck a deep chord with listeners. A Texas competitor held their own against an experienced professional during a duet with a coach, which was another noteworthy moment. The performance showed confidence and stage command in addition to vocal skill. Texas singers made progress week after week, progressively reducing the number of contestants until only a handful were left. They were clearly among the most formidable competitors by the semifinals. The final road anticipation peaked as the conclusion drew near. Although fans disagreed on who would win, most felt that the Texas representatives had set the bar for the season. They were fierce rivals because of their dependability, adaptability, and emotional intelligence. Their final performances demonstrated all they had learned during the competition. Their showmanship was emphasized in high-energy numbers, while storytelling and vocal control were underlined in more subdued ballads. Coaches expressed their sincere gratitude for the progress they had seen since the blind auditions. Contestants thought back on their travels behind the scenes. Numerous people discussed the honor and responsibility of representing Texas on a national level. They also conveyed their appreciation for their home communities and families' support. Winners, when the results were eventually made public, they supported the predictions of many. Another triumph for Texas's rich musical heritage came when a Texas singer was named the season's champion. All of the Texas competitors who had helped make the season a success greeted the event with applause, tears, and a sense of collective achievement. The essence of The Voice was encapsulated in the winner's journey from local performances to national acclaim. It illustrated how skill, diligence, and genuineness can connect with audiences well beyond one's local area. The win was particularly significant to Texas viewers, enhancing the state's standing as a musical talent hotspot. Celebrations throughout the state. Back in Texas, there was a flurry of joy. Fans celebrated the accomplishment with social media tributes, hometown parades, and community events. While news organizations focused on the winner's tale, local radio stations recapped the show's performances. The triumph inspired aspiring vocalists around the state. It demonstrated how dreams fostered in modest settings and at neighborhood gatherings might result in national triumph. Community leaders and music educators expressed delight in having their area represented on such a significant stage. Effect on the program: The Voice was forever changed by the domination of Texas vocalists this season. Coaches and producers noticed the distinct energy they contributed to the competition. Their popularity demonstrated how crucial local musical traditions are to forming the show's diversity. It also spurred conversations about what distinguishes Texas performers. Some cited the robust live music industry in the state, which gives performers early chances to hone their stage presence. Others emphasized how their style is influenced by a cultural fusion of Latin, gospel, blues, and country music. Regardless of the cause, the effect was evident. This season showed that Texas talent frequently shows up on The Voice prepared to compete at the greatest level. Gazing ahead, the focus shifted to the future as the season came to an end and the winners started getting ready for the next phase of their career. In the future seasons, would Texas maintain its winning streak? Would the state's new competitors be able to live up to the bar set by this year's performers? For supporters, the prospect is what excites them. The legacy of Texas singers on The Voice endures despite the addition of new voices and tales with every season.